Hi everyone, this is Rachel at StudioUs with another at-home crafting lesson for you guys. Today we're going to make a beautiful butterfly wreath out of paper. So go ahead and grab your supplies, print out your templates, and we'll get ready to get started. So we want to print out our 8-inch wreath form and 3 sheets worth of butterflies off of our website. You'll need scissors, some markers, and some glue. I'm going to use my glue gun, but you can use Elmer's glue as well. To start out, I'm going to cut out my wreath form, so I want to cut out my outside edge and my inside edge. And I'll show you guys how to get that inside edge cut out real quick. What you want to do is kind of fold into the center and just pinch a tiny little crease. And we're going to snip that crease, slip our bottom part of the scissors inside there. I'm going to start cutting out, and what I like to do is work out in a spiral. That way I don't have to cut right out to the side of the circle. I can kind of ease my way in there and then get out to that inner edge. Once I spiral out to the edge, I'm going to stay right on that line. And notice that I usually move my paper more than my scissors. I'm kind of tipping my scissors a little bit, but mostly I'm turning my paper as I squeeze my scissors down to change direction. And that's a great way to go around and cut a circle without getting any jagged edges. So I'll finish out that little bit of a spiral, get all the way to the edge, and then cut that off. So I've got my center cut out of my spiral. I'll go ahead and cut around the outside edge as well, and then we'll have our wreath form ready to go. Alright, got my outside edge cut out. I'm going to go ahead and decorate my edge. I decided to do some polka dots, so I just used a Sharpie and left some white spots off, but you can color it any color you like. And from here we're going to go ahead and color in our butterfly. So I've created a bunch of different colors. I've got red, green, yellow, orange, purple, and blue, and I'll show you how I created some of those. So for the purple, I grabbed 4 markers, working from lighter to darker purples. I'm going to kind of arrange them in order. So I've got a pale purple, a pink purple, a regular purple, and a dark purple. And starting with my lightest color, I just pick a couple sets of segments of this wing and color them in with the light color. And whatever piece I color on one side, I want to color on the other side as well. After that, I switch to my lighter purple. And I'm going to color in another set of pieces, always making sure that I color in the same piece on the other side. That way everything's nice and symmetrical. I'm kind of creating an alternating pattern here, so I'm coloring one in light purple and then skipping one, so I can fill it in with a darker purple later. And creating the same pattern on the opposite wings. After that, I'll go in with my regular purple, fill in some more spots. I'm kind of creating a lighter to darker progression as I work down the wing. And then I'll fill in those alternating spots on the lower wings, making sure I get both sides again. And then I'll take my darkest purple, so this plum color, and fill in the last couple spots at the bottom of the wings. If you decide you want to color yours in like mine, feel free to use these as a guide. If you want to have a lot of fun and play around with colors and make your butterflies any color you want to imagine, that's totally alright too. Butterflies are beautiful and colorful. You should play around with the colors and have a lot of fun with it and make a really beautiful butterfly wreath. So I'll go ahead and show you guys how we do the blue one as well. We're going to use that same set of lighter to darker colors, and then just fill in working from light to dark to create a nice bright blue butterfly. Those blue butterflies are always my favorite. We have them at the butterfly exhibit here in Chicago that you can go to, and I love it when they fly around and land on you. And take your time, have a lot of fun. I like to recommend doing about 3 sheets worth of butterflies. If you have siblings, or if your family wants to get involved, everyone can do their own sheet and kind of mix them up to create a wreath all together. And then when you cut them out, you might not use them all, but you have the option to pick your favorite butterflies and add them to your wreath. Finishing up the last few dark spots on our blue butterfly here. It's a perfect time to be making a butterfly wreath since we have Cinco de Mayo and Mother's Day coming up almost at the same time. Can't imagine any mom who wouldn't appreciate a beautiful butterfly wreath, but also monarch butterflies usually migrate into the United States from Mexico, so it's a good way to celebrate them as well. Alright, we've got our butterflies all colored in. Gonna put my markers away real quick, get my scissors, and what I'm gonna do is cut apart each of these butterflies. It would be really, really hard to cut each butterfly out if they were all stuck together. So I'm gonna do a rough cut and kind of free up all these butterflies individually, so I don't have to worry too much about cutting around them or working around tiny little corners. It's always easier if you rough cut out your big pieces. That way you can just work on one butterfly at a time. And to cut these out, I like to do little snips into the corners where I would have a point that I need to cut to. So I'm going to cut into the bottom, into the side of the wings, on either side of the head of our butterfly. And I'll get the side of the wing on that opposite side too, so where the top wing connects with the bottom wing. Now that everything's kind of loosened up, I can go in and more easily cut around. So I'm just going to use the curved top of the head. I'm not going to worry about that tiny little bump or the antennas. And cut around my wings. And as I go around, every time I finish a segment, I can pull off that little piece of paper and then move on to the next one, and I won't have a big chunk of paper in my way. Also notice again that my scissors are pretty much pointing straight away from me, and I'm turning the paper around as I squeeze the scissors down. It's much easier to cut that way than to try to turn your scissors around, and you're way less likely to cut yourself. So keep your scissors pointing straight. I usually like to point them straight away from my body, and then use your opposite hand to turn that paper around for you. Alright, so we've got our butterfly cut out. To be able to glue these down onto our wreath, I'm going to create a couple little folds on either side of the body so the wings pop up, and I have a flat part right in the center where I can glue that down to our wreath. All ready to go. They've got a nice flutter to them when you fold them up. Cut out the rest of the butterflies, and then we'll put this wreath together. So I've got my wreath form ready to go. I've put it on a thick piece of paper so it'll be pretty sturdy. And I've sorted my butterflies out by color. So I've got yellow, orange, red, my turquoise butterflies, then blue, then purple. I'm going to put these together in kind of a rainbow pattern. If that's something you like, you can follow this pattern, or you can just add them on as you like. So I'm going to take my glue, put a little bit on the flat part of the bottom of the butterfly. Start with my yellow butterflies and start sticking them on there. I like to start right at the top and then kind of work side to side adding more back and forth. Just kind of nestle them together. They like to overlap a little bit. I'm switching to my orange. I want to keep working down, so I'm going to do about 2 of each color. They don't all have to face the same direction. You want them kind of twisting around and overlapping each other like a big swarm of butterflies. So I'll put 1 orange one on either side. Switch over to my red butterflies and glue those down. Here I'm using my glue gun, which is a low temp glue gun, so it can't really hurt my fingers. You can also use Elmer's glue for this. You just have to hold your butterflies down for a little bit longer and make sure you're not using a ton of Elmer's glue, just a little bit. So we got our red butterflies down. We'll switch to the green. I'm just adding 1 on either side. Get in my blue butterflies. And then we'll add the purple ones down at the bottom. I think I've got room for 3, so I can add 1 more purple one down near the bottom to really get lots of butterflies added in there. And you can see it's super colorful. It looks really, really pretty once you've got them all added. Got room for 1 more in the middle there. We'll try to squeeze them in. I think I can fold up some of those butterfly wings and get them in there. There we go, right in the middle. We've got a nice little pile of butterflies. You can kind of play with the wings and get them to overlap the way you want them to. Make sure everything looks nice and neat. And that will about do it for our butterfly wreath. I hope you guys love how yours turns out and have lots of fun coloring these in. Have a great Cinco de Mayo and Mother's Day. If you need to add a little hanger, you can add one to the back there. Otherwise, you're good to go. Take care and we'll see you next time.